Well, out there, YouTubers, this is the sawmill mess that I got going on, and I just noticed my lights are on. I got to go turn my lights off. I turned on the inverter so I could trim some wood, but I don't want it. I don't need any lights today. I was working last night till pretty late. Yesterday was not a good day on the steps. Everything I cut was wrong. And then you know how you say measure it twice and cut it once? I must have measured it 5 times and redid my calculations. Still managed to cut more wrong boards than I cut right boards. But knowing the knucklehead that I am, I can't get the tripod in here to a level spot. Knowing the, in fact, I think I'll just take, well, it's so much more sturdy on here. Knowing how senile I am, I cut a lot of extra boards and still ran out of boards because I cut so many things wrong. So I'll show you kind of what I'm shooting for here. You're on kind of an angle, but sometimes that's just the way it is. What I wanted, because this was a kind of a fixed height here. You can't change this. I wanted this and this. I wanted all the steps to be equal. I don't know how to explain what I'm doing. I was thinking about having 11-inch steps, but then the 12-inch ones worked out better. But it's actually 11 inches because if you put this into here, it comes to 11 inches. Then this one here comes to 11 inches. This one here, they're all come to 11 inches. And then the next one will be 11 inches, which might make the deck too short or too small, I don't know. But I was just steady cutting things wrong yesterday. I cut these boards here, I cut 2 inches too short. Okay? Now I had my cut sheet because I knew this was 105 here across there, and I wanted from here to here to be 12 inches, and this comes out an extra inch. So I knew that, so the 105 minus the 24 for this side and that side, because I wanted to keep the sides coming in equal, was going to give me, I think it was an 81-inch cut. So I cut that at 81 inch, and all that went in pretty good. So then subtract off of this distance here, I subtracted another 24 for each side, and somehow I cut those 2 inches too short. Well, it didn't make much difference to me because I had an extra board, and I get 2 pieces out of a board. On the bottom one here, I can only get 1 piece out of a board. But once I was up here, I get 2 pieces out of a board. I get 2 pieces out of the board up here. So the leftover from this first cut, because it's so small, I can use it up here. So I was in great shape, you know, great shape. Yeah, right. So anyhow, I proceeded to remeasure, recalculate everything out, figured out exactly what I needed, and I ended up cutting those damn things short too. And I cut one too short. One was one was the 57, which is supposed to be, and one was 56. I don't know what I did now, but it was like I couldn't get anything right yesterday. So here I'm putting a little 45 bevel on here just so it'll shoot your foot in there easier. This has got a little 45 in it over here to make it a little bit better. These Empire State buildings are going to be where I'm going to try to calculate what kind of railing I want. But those are getting bolted in here. This one only gets one. And then it'll get a set of bolts here and here, and these 2x6s, actually they're 2x5 1/4. That's where I was cutting real accurate on the sawmill. When you saw me cut the one and then I was flipping and flipping it and flipping and flipping it, it's because I was cutting the tension out of the wood down to the last tension, and thought I'd get, because if I cut the first, just cut it out, then it would, I don't know. To me, in my mind, it worked better. So these are doing pretty good. The rise is, I guess I'm pretty close to the rise. All right, I'm 7 inches on the money there. I'm 7 inches on the money there. 7 inches on the money there. So I got 7 inches up, and I'm going in, I guess 11 or 12 inches. I don't know how you figure that. I do not know what I'm doing. I'm not photoing it because it takes me so long to do everything. Plus, if I'm worried about photoing and worrying about cutting as bad as I did yesterday, it'll be worse. These boards here might be goners because they didn't come out, the tension in them, they didn't, see I got a 1/4 inch little rise here. I could run it through the planer. I might do that. I have that big log, if you remember that big log back there on the, that big the big log on the big can, I guess, on the mill back there. I'm going to take you out of here so you're going to be shaky. You can see down in there where the bolts are. Now when I get done, you see the holes. I'm going to drill through those and put holes in there, and then I'm going to drill those big ones there and stabilize it there. So this is kind of what it looks like. Up close you can kind of see where I just think it would be better, and I rounded this off. You really can't see it's rounded that much, but they're rounded off with a router. On rough cut lumber, you kind of get what you want, but it's so there wouldn't be any kind of a chance of a catching lip here. And same up here. We'll go over the other side. Like I said, these are getting bolted in. They're just in there now. So, oh, another thing. Now, that one there probably isn't level. It's just a hair off, which I don't think you're going to make much difference. But that's not going to be one you're going to stand on. Anyway, that one there, you're not going to stand on that one. This one here, you're going to stand on. So they're pretty good. Once, what I'm doing is taking. These were those boards that came off, and remember I said every one of them was tapered? Well, I'm trying to put them in so the taper takes care of advantages of miscuts and all that kind of crap. So that's another reason you guys don't need to be watching this goofy stuff. Another thing that makes me mad, is, can you see the gap here? See, I don't know if you can show, there's my line, and it saws a line, and then the saw is curving all one way, so I got goofy little gaps here. Not that that's just gonna fill up with sawdust and you'll never see it, and it isn't gonna make any difference. But it's kind of upsetting that daggone once again I'm going back to the Milwaukee ain't what it used to be, guys. That daggone saw will not saw straight, and I've got that on every one of them. You'll saw it and it goes crooked, so it's kind of upsetting me there. That I can't saw straight line with the new saw. See how I got gaps? Every now and then you'll get one that's pretty good, but you can see the line where it's sawed off the line. So I'm cutting them thinner than I should be to put a bigger gap there, so they'll go in there. Which I guess it's just the way it is. So somehow I got one more step to go, so I'll have 2 more of these. That one board that's back on the sawmill, that cant that I left on there, I sawed 2 of these pieces off of it, it's dimensional lumber, which I'll get into that in a minute. That's bolted down there. Of course, every time I get starting this movie, the neighbor starts his leaf blower up. I've started to try to make this movie I don't know how many times, and he's turned it off and now it's back on, so you're hearing a lot of noise in the background. Sorry about that. It's like jets going over. How do they know when you're making a movie? So anyhow, I'm about ready to work on the steps over there. I guess I'll let you see something that I do. If I get down from here, something I do, which is probably not right, but so don't hurt me too bad, because like I said, I am the farthest thing from a carpenter you ever want to see, so it's all you're getting is good examples of what not to do. But if you're persistent, you might get it done, or crazy enough. Now I'm running off the inverter because I don't have electricity down here. So here I put a mark on here and here where I want the bevels to be. So that's all I'm going to do now. I don't know where my safety goggles are. I took them off so I could see what's in the video. And anyhow. Like I said, this is a good example of what you don't want to see. Now, I got my angle here. I already got the saw set because I've done a couple others. Oh, I didn't mark it. I'm just going in 3/4 of an inch, but I don't know what it turns out to be. And just run this along there best I can. I hope you're in the video. Let me go back and look. Always afraid of where, yeah, I think you can see it. Huh. I'm sure that I could have run a chalk line here. They're just rough steps over a rough sawmill. It really doesn't make any difference. It ain't gotta be perfect. I'm not making a violin. I did that. Didn't play. So this is the saw that won't cut a straight line. That, if I follow the line, it's all right. If I follow the fence, it's off. I'm going to put a micrometer on her and see if it's, check the lead on the saw blade. I think it's out, but I don't know how you could adjust it. Now I'm sure somebody's going to say, put a fence on there, put a fence on there. I bought the fence out here and it wouldn't reach to this side, so that's not going to be an option. It would have cut a straighter line, but the boards are rough cut, so they're not real straight anyway. But that's what it ends up being. We'll take it over and put it in. Well, I'll take it over, but you can't, well, you can kind of watch me put it in, then I'll take you over there. Now you're on a goofy angle again. If I take you over, I can't handle the board and the camera tripod at the same time. So I'll come back and get you in a minute. I hope. It's kind of an obstacle course. Well, I worked. Because I don't know what I'm doing is half the problem. But I'm trying to do something. Because that was one of the things on my list. I can move you up a little bit. And then come back and get you. Of course, there's nothing level here, so it is kind of what it is, guys. This is kind of low budget production here. That should kind of fit in there. Now I gotta get my square. I'll bring you guys up so you can see. Well, maybe I can't. Where I can look at and where I can set you are two different things. Which anybody that does these movies kind of knows about that. All right. There's, and now it's clear. Man, I'm having all sorts of problems with these steps. I'm just, now let me get the square to see if I'm where I'm supposed to be. They're actually not too bad. See, now this should be here. Let's see, that should be, I don't remember, 11 inches, that's right. And this one here, these are already in place, 11 inches. So this goes to 11 inches here, which needs to come this way to there. And then this one here needs to come, that's right there. So then the next ones need to come into it. And that'll be fine, because the next step will be the ramp over. Let me see what we got here. I got a 2-bubbler. That'd probably make me build better if I had a 2-bubbler. And that's where we come on the old level. It's close enough, I think, really, guys. Whoops, you saw the hand. That's within. This wood's going to dry and it's going to bow and it's going to shape and it's going to get moisture wet from, you know, dampness and stuff. So it's going to move around a little bit. But so I think that'll be fine. So that's where we're at. On that, I'll screw that together and then I'll start my next plank. But my next plank is going to be even more difficult if it needs to be, because these boards here, if you can see it, go all the way across from one side to the other. Okay, the next one I can't do that with. It's got to go under here, so I'll have to kind of scab it together. I think I only got about an inch clearance there. I can have two separate boards, and I might end up doing that, just have two separate boards. But I like the left side tied together with the right side, or the front with the back and stuff like that. I think it'd be better. But who knows what it's going to be, because it's kind of like just going along. My next step, though, should get me over top of this mandrel. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable going up that many flights of stairs. I mean, I might as well go up to the upstairs instead of the downstairs. It's a lot easier just stepping over that shaft. But like I said, this shaft here's got a keyway in it, so I think this could catch your clothes. That other shaft doesn't have a keyway in it, so I think it wouldn't be too bad. And I was thinking about putting a shield over it. Just putting a shield over and step over the shield. But if you're stepping over the shield, you might as well just step onto the step. It's not quite the same, but I figured this, you know, this is up just high enough. This is up about 5 inches. By the time you get the step on there, or the shield over it, you'd be up 6 inches. You might as well just go ahead and put the step on it and then the left side and the right side are all even. You know, you got the 7 inches up. And then whatever the deck turns out to be, it'll be a deck all the way across here. So that's where I'm going to, and then I'll put another board like this one here in here. And like I said, I got the screws. I'm gonna probably mark that, and then I got to push this whole shooting match over that way, so I can drill in the two holes here. Here I can drill, but the two holes here, these I drilled before I put it in place. I wanted something to stabilize this stuff, and I didn't know exactly where these other ones were, so I didn't do that. I got the screws in here, so I'm hitting the center and hitting the center. The screws here, I know they kind of look ugly to the outside, and it would look better the inside, but I'm going to steel on the outside. But what I didn't want to do was have anything that could catch your foot or catch a shoelace. So if I had the bolts coming out this side here, I think it could catch could catch it. I don't think it ever would, but you just never know. And same way down here, if I had switched these around to the inside, I want this area here as clear, as clean as possible. So that's what I'm shooting for. Somebody said something about toe boards. I guess you could slip in there, and maybe I should put some kind of a toe board in there, but I don't have it in the back, and in 30 years I've never had a problem in the back. These are rough cuts, so you know you're slipping, and I don't really saw in mud, so that was another concern. I'm still looking at this mechanism here. I got to make a movie on that. If you're seeing here, if you're the person that's looking for that, that's the mechanism I got, and it's see how it goes up and down. That's a little more slop in it than I like, but it just goes back to, it always just rolls back to normal. And if you don't, this handle here is about the same position as the other handle. I'm gonna get into this in another movie. It's about the same position as the other handle. You can change the straightness of it by adjusting this tie rod. So somebody else asked me, the same person asked me his carriage was going backwards. If you put one of these straps on here, that seems to help it from going backwards. Which is just another flat belt on there. On the belt mill in the back, I just got an old piece of leather and hung over there. And depending on your situation, you just put little weights on it down there. So that seems to work good for that. But anyhow, back to the steps. Because I float, man, I float all over the place, don't I? I'm a terrible floater. So I'm going to screw these in and start working on the next up. I don't know whether I'm going to put a piece in there. Probably could, I don't know. You know, I have the stuff to do it with. I'm going to tie screw a board on the outside of these. Once I get all this together, I'm going to screw a board on the outside of these. I got a couple leftovers there just to keep these from going goofy, because this is green wood. Here I got, here I didn't do too good on this. I might trim this down. This here I think is handle's probably only going to be about this high, and I figured that really didn't make much difference. I could have hit it on the inside, probably looked better, but sometimes I could flip the two sides and do that, but I just don't feel like doing it. Don't matter to me. I figured if you're getting in there, you might just glance off. It's like the 45s at the bottom. So anyhow, that's the steps. What I'm working on, I'll be working on this today. I've worked on some other things. I'm going to load the blower up tomorrow. The blower is going to go down to Jeff's, and we're going to see if that would be a usable thing for the blower on here. Because if you recall, wherever my list got to, which my list disappeared, things disappear for me pretty fast. I'm kind of a mess. That was one of the things on the list that I had to take care of before I use the sawmill. So that's something that's got to be done. Shaft's still out of it. That's where that is. So this movie will be going on tonight, I think. I don't know what order. I just did another movie in the back which I need to put on. I'm trying to think what else. Alternator's running. It's a GMC. Anyhow, that's good. I'm just babbling. I'm all done. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.